Good evening from Manchester in the northwest of England, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Rachel Jacobson. I'm an Eden Energy Medicine practitioner and teacher. I teach introductory classes as well as the Level 1 Fundamentals course. And here in Manchester, we are all staying at home, just like I think pretty much everyone in the world. I've been home for about a month now. All I've done is go for one trip to the supermarket, and I've been out on some walks. I've been to my partner's allotment, and I have to say the best part was going to the supermarket and making a big connection with the lady behind the counter who was checking out my groceries. And it's not something normally that I'll make time for, but because we're all kind of socially isolated at the moment, and I'm able to stay in contact with people by phone and by Facebook, but it's not quite the same, wouldn't you agree? So in the supermarket, wow, it was really, really wonderful to make eye contact with the lady and say, how are you doing? How's life for you? And we had a really sweet, just 2-minute exchange. So maybe that's something, if you're out and about doing some essential errands, you can look for places where you might be able to create connections with people, because I think it's something we're all really missing at the moment. And I thought a lot about what I would want to share with you and what I thought would hopefully be really helpful and meaningful for you. And what I landed on was I wanted to talk about what I'm going to call extreme stress. And the reason this is such a big passion of mine is I kind of went through almost 20 years of this extreme stress. And from about age 10, I experienced depression. I had so much anxiety. I was almost the anxiety queen. And I also had a pretty intense eating disorder and had to claw my way out of all that and what felt like a very, very dark hole. And one of the best things the Eden method gave me was simple tools to manage my stress, to reduce it and manage it, to be able to deal with the stress I was experiencing and the impact of stress on my body. So my wish for you is that by doing these exercises and by learning all the wonderful things that Donna and the Eden method have to offer, that you'll be able to, with your own hands, anytime, any place, you'll be able to create shifts, to move your energy and to bring balance. And that, I think, is one of the most empowering things ever, that we can do that for ourselves. So what am I going to talk about today as it relates to stress? I'm going to talk about Triple Warmer, who is our inner warrior and protector, and I'll show you some exercises and ways that you can balance your Triple Warmer energies. I'm also going to dive in a bit into talking about the adrenal glands, which are very, very related to the stress response in our bodies. And I'm going to highlight one particular stress hormone that is very, very significant, and that is cortisol. And I'd also like to show you what is possibly my most favorite energy medicine exercise. It's a way of activating your radiant circuits. It's also great for Triple Warmer. And honest to goodness, I can say that every time I do this exercise, I reach a place of peace inside me that it's probably one of the sort of the top 5 peaceful experiences that I've ever had. And I just get to this deep state of peace. And that's one of the gifts that the radiant circuits, which is an energy system, the radiant circuits can give us deep peace and feelings of calm and joy. And at the moment, we're in stressful times. No matter whether your stress levels are low or high, we're in different routines. We're not seeing our loved ones, our close family and friends. And everything that's happening is quite unpredictable. We have no control over how things are unfolding, but what we do have control over is ourselves. So what you have control over is yourself and your energies and how you're responding to what's happening. So my wish is that by doing these exercises and learning from myself and the other teachers and videos of Donna and her team on YouTube and so on, that you'll learn ways, concrete ways, that quite quickly and easily you can calm yourself and hopefully find a space inside of true calm and ease, even if it's just for a few seconds. So let's dive into talking about triple warmer. You might already be familiar with triple warmer. Triple warmer is an energy system, and we often call triple warmer the inner warrior and protector. Triple warmer is also a reactor. So anytime that you're stressed, if you're going into the fight, flight, freeze response, triple warmer has a role to play in that. And actually, triple warmer has a lot of important jobs in the body. So, for example, it helps to regulate body temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, the immune system, and of course we all want to keep our immune system strong at the moment, and also hormone production. And of course we have stress hormones that triple warmers involved in. So many different important roles in the body. And one of the things that I think is the most important to understand about triple warmer is the fact that for a lot of us, our triple warmers are working too hard, too much of the time. And I know for me, when I was younger, I was permanently stuck in the fight, flight, freeze response. I didn't know it at the time, but fast forward all these years, and I really know the difference. And I know that now I know how to help myself relax in my nervous system. And so let's dive in and do a triple warmer exercise. We'll start with triple warmer neurovasculars. And what I'm going to invite you to do is bunch together your thumb, index and middle fingers on one hand, and then place your fingers at the base of your neck in this big dip in between your collarbones. So you're just resting this 3-finger notch gently there. And now with your other hand, with your open palm, just resting that on the side of your head. And all you're going to do is just hold gently here and take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breath really helps energy to move, so really bringing your conscious attention to your breath. And now we're going to switch and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, you're taking 3 fingers here, you're making a 3-finger notch that you're placing at the base of your throat, and then your other hand is going on the side of your head. In both places, you're covering triple warmer neurovascular points. And if you've watched any of the teachers, or if you're familiar with the Eden method, you might know these neurovascular points, they're reflex points. And they work with the brain and the blood, and they're great at helping to calm down our nervous system and to bring us out of the fight, flight, freeze response. So anytime that you are stressed, whether it's right now in this moment, tomorrow, in 10 years' time, this is a great exercise to try. And you can hold here for as long as you'd like. A good rule of thumb is about 3 deep breaths, but if you're enjoying it, if it's feeling good, you can hold for longer. And in fact, sometimes I'll hold this pose when I'm in bed, so often I'll lie on my side. This is a really comfortable position for me to sit in or lie in. And I lie in bed and hold this. I used to wake up in the night and be unable to get back to sleep. I find that for me, in my energies, one of the best ways to help myself drift back off to sleep is to work with my triple warmer, because often what's happening is triple warmers going, and my thoughts are racing, and I'm maybe feeling anxious, and I'm thinking about all the 17,000 different things that I have on my list to do. And maybe at the moment for you, you've got all kinds of worries and concerns running through your mind. And that's understandable because we're in really difficult times, all of us together at the moment. So use that exercise and notice how it feels in your energies. If it's feeling good to you, then it's probably helping you and doing really good stuff. So keep going with it and keep it in your toolkit. There's another triple warmer exercise I really want to show. I chose this one because I work with a lot of people who tell me how much they love this exercise. It's called the triple warmer smoothie. Sadly, it doesn't involve sort of strawberry, banana and pineapple blended fruits together. But if you're a fan of that kind of smoothie, then you could do it at the same time. You could be drinking and moving the energy. Truly, if you have a drink that you really love, such as a fruit smoothie, that can bring more joy into your system and it's good for your energies. But with triple warmer, the smoothie is by bringing your hands first of all so they're over your eyes, so you're palming your eyes here. This in itself is actually good for your eye health, so you could just stay here for a few minutes if you wanted to. And now take a breath in, breathe out and move your hands to your temples. Breathe in again and bring your hands up over your ears, and as you breathe out, just trace around the circumference of your ears, below your ears until your hands rest on your shoulders at the side of your neck. And now take a breath in again. And breathe out and move your hands down so they're resting over your heart. Let's just take a moment now to just sit and be with the energies, be with that calm. Notice how you're feeling now compared to 30 or 60 seconds ago, before you did your triple warmer smoothie. You might notice not very much at all, which is okay. It doesn't mean that nothing happened. You might notice a lot, but if you don't check in and ask yourself that question, what do I notice? And if you don't bring your conscious awareness and your attention to how you're feeling in your body, you're very unlikely to notice these subtle sensations that you might experience. And you might be thinking right now, what are these subtle sensations? And the reality is we all feel different things in our bodies when energies are moving. So I can't give you one concrete answer to that question, but I can tell you some common things that people experience. And they're things like changes in temperature, or feeling lighter and more open somewhere, you know, like there's a tension that's released, or muscles that maybe are relaxing. Often people will say, oh, I feel like my arm or my legs are tingling and buzzing, and it's a pleasant kind of sensation. The energies in some way are coming alive. And then sometimes people might yawn or they'll sigh. People may have an emotional response and have some tears of sadness, tears of joy. It's all possible, and it's all related to the movements of energy. And the more that you allow yourself to check in and notice that, the more you'll be able to develop a relationship with yourself and your energies. And I actually think that's so, so powerful, because I never used to have a relationship with my energies, and I couldn't feel things when I started. And it's like a muscle, like building a really strong bicep and going to the gym and working out. The more that you bring your attention and ask yourself, what can I feel while I'm doing this exercise? And what do I notice once I've shifted and moved my energies? The more that you do that, the more actually you'll be able to notice, and you'll know what things feel like in your energies. And then let's say it's next Tuesday afternoon and you only have 2 minutes to do energy exercises, and you feel flat or down or a little bit anxious, you'll know much, much better, much, much faster which 1 or 2 exercises to try that's going to help you hopefully feel better. So they're my top tips and my encouragement to tune in, notice what you're feeling, and don't be discouraged if you're not feeling a great amount. It is something that with time and with intention that the majority of people find that they experience a change with. And I think most people do notice that they feel more. I can definitely say that for myself. So there you have a couple of fabulous triple warmer exercises. Triple warmer is overworking a lot of the time, as I said, so calming triple warmer down, great thing to be doing, especially at the moment. Now, triple warmer, one of triple warmer's jobs is it governs the adrenals. You might know a little bit about the adrenals. They're walnut-sized glands, and they sit, they look like little hats almost on top of your kidneys. And their main job is to regulate the body's response to stress. They produce a variety of hormones. I mentioned cortisol before. You've probably heard of adrenaline, and really a wide variety of hormones produce stress hormones. So that's a key thing to know about the adrenals. And when we're stressed, the adrenals get depleted. Other things such as lack of sleep also affect the adrenals. So it's quite a wide, broad, and quite interesting topic. And so in terms of our energy, what you need to know are, where are your adrenal points located and what do you do with them? So first, let me show you where they're located. And so if you find your navel, so this is my navel here where I'm pointing, and then I'm going to come up about an inch and out an inch, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, so up an inch and outside an inch, and these are my adrenal points. So what I'd suggest for you is move your fingers around, and you can use more than one finger if you want to, and just press around a little bit in this zone, approximately an inch up and an inch out from your belly button. We are all anatomically different, so these points can be in very slightly different locations, and when you press around, it may be that you'll land on a sore spot, and sometimes people will go, "Oh yes, that's sore." So of course, don't press it too hard and really hurt yourself, but if you identify a sore spot, most likely that's your adrenal point. So you want to begin shifting the energy there. Soreness usually indicates congestion of energy. So anywhere on your body, anytime if you're experiencing some soreness, there's a good chance there's some energy congestion, and there's lots of ways you can get that moving. So with your adrenal points here, one of the simple ways to get the energy moving is to press on them with some firm pressure. And you can use as much pressure as you'd like to. And I actually really encourage you to vary it and to try it different ways and see what feels right for you and your energies, because we're unique in our energies. You are not the same in your energies as any other sweet person on this planet. So what you need might be very different to what I need or what your friend down the street needs. So pay attention to how things feel for you. You can, when you're pressing here, you can really buzz them. So with deep pressure, moving your hands up and down quickly. You also could go in a more rhythmic, wave-like, pulsing rhythm. That often can feel nice. So you've got different options in your toolkit, and I am a fan of having options so you can try different things at different times and find the exercise that's going to help you the most in the moment. There's another very fun way to work with the adrenal points as well. Make 3-finger notches. So just like we did before with the triple warmer neurovasculars in your throat. So you've got thumbs, index and middle fingers together, bunched on both hands, and then bring one of those notches to one of your adrenal points. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to go with my right side here. So I've got one 3-finger notch on that front adrenal point. And then I'm coming directly behind that point on my back. So I've got my 2 3-finger notches at the front and at the behind. And now I am going to floss. And yes, you heard me right. I did say floss, but imaginary floss, of course. And so I'm just going to imagine that I'm holding a piece of floss in my hands, and I'm moving in this motion back and forth. And this is helping to clear the energy. Energy needs space to move. So anytime there's stuck energy, you want to be clearing that as best as you can so that the energy can be free to move. And of course, you also can do the same thing on the other side of the body. So getting your 3-finger notch and coming to your other adrenal point, coming directly behind, and then again, doing this back and forth motion. Now, energy follows our intention. So one thing that you could do while you're doing this movement with your arms is really bring your intention your visualization to this. So you can really imagine the floss between your hands. You can really imagine that you're moving that through your body, clearing the energy there and bringing balance. So there you have that. So great ways to work with your adrenals. And now, cortisol. Now, you might know a lot about cortisol already. I didn't know much about cortisol until a few years ago when my cortisol levels started going kind of all out of whack. And I was finding through the night, I wasn't very tired. I would actually have higher energy levels in the evening than in the morning. And I'd wake up and I'd be hit by a truck. And you sort of expect that as the day continues, that you would have a peak. And this is what is supposed to happen when the cortisol levels are balanced, that the cortisol levels rise in the morning and we hit this peak. And I was not hitting a peak. So there's a lot of consequences when our cortisol levels aren't rising and falling as they're meant to. And elevated cortisol levels can cause all kinds of problems in the body. Here's a top tip from when I did my mind-body eating coaching training. When your elevated cortisol, when you have elevated cortisol levels, that suppresses your digestion, your metabolism, and thermic efficiency, which is your ability to burn calories. So if you are stressed, that is one of the worst possible things that you can do for your weight and for your digestion. And oftentimes people might say, I want to lose weight. And one of the things that is going to really, really help them is to reduce their stress and to balance their cortisol. So that's a bit of a side note, but if you are interested in your weight, or just at the moment knowing, here we are at home and we're all quite stressed, the chances are your cortisol levels might be doing something different to what they were doing a month ago. So we want to keep those balanced. It's the same as with the adrenal points. I'm going to show you where to locate them, how to find them, and then what to do with them. And they're very simple to find. Now you know where your adrenal points are, you will love finding your cortisol points because they are in a very, very similar spot on your body. So here again, this is my navel. And of course, the adrenal points were above the navel. Cortisol points are below. So you would be coming an inch down below your navel, and then an inch out on one side and an inch out on the other side. So these spots right here, this is your cortisol points. And the first exercise I'm going to show you is where you'll be holding your thumb and middle fingers of one hand, either hand, it doesn't matter, on your cortisol points. So it looks like that. And then with your other hand, you are again taking your thumb and middle fingers and you're putting them at your crown, right at the top of your head, your baby spot. And now what you're going to do is alternate applying pressure at each of these points. So firstly, pressing your fingers on your head down and then releasing that pressure and pressing in with your lower hand at the points below your navel, and then releasing that pressure and pressing down again on the top of your head. And in this way, you're creating a rhythm back and forth, pushing in at both locations, and this is helping to balance the energies. Remembering to breathe. And notice how this exercise feels. Do you notice any changes in the felt sensations in your body? You might notice your thoughts might be calming down. All different kinds of subtle sensations. And then relaxing your arms down. All right. Now, let me show you that great exercise I mentioned earlier. It's the one that I was saying, I do this every day. Sometimes I do it more than once a day. I'm not suggesting you need to do it every day, but what I am saying is if you ever discover an Eden method exercise that makes you feel so good, it's one of the best feelings you've ever had in your life, then please carry on doing it and keep doing it until you maybe find one day it doesn't make you feel as good, and maybe that means it's because you need something different. But if it's really making you feel good, it's helping you, you're getting benefit from it, keep going with it. And this exercise is a way to work with triple warmer, to activate triple warmer as a radiant circuit. So triple warmer is an energy system of its own right, and there are 9 energy systems that we work with in the Eden method. As an energy system, triple warmer, it has roles as a meridian and as a radiant circuit. And we can consider all the meridians, their energy pathways, radiant circuits, their energy pathways. They're independent systems that come from Chinese medicine. And a lot of the time, for a lot of us, triple warmer is very, very much in its meridian state. As I described earlier, it's the warrior, and it's working hard, and it's seeing something that's going on in the world and saying, oh my goodness, that might be a threat to me. And that's how we've evolved over time. The triple warmer responds to threats, whether they're real threats or they might just be something we're thinking and perceiving is a threat, and triple warmer will start helping us and protecting us. This is where we can run into problems because triple warmer is overworking, and then triple warmer will go to our adrenals because our adrenals are its primary physical source of energy, and triple warmer might go to other meridian energy pathways to conscript and sort of feed off and take the energy from other meridians so that triple warmer can keep going and keep protecting you and being a good protector. But of course, over time, what that can lead to is depletion with your adrenals and your other meridians. And that's one of the reasons that we really want to be working to calm triple warmer. But there's more when we bring in the radiant circuits, because triple warmer also has what I think of as a very, very majestic role as a radiant circuit. It's a glorious state of knowing all is well, from what is very much sort of a true place of peace and ease, rather than, you know, as a meridian feeling more stressed and feeling like, oh my goodness, I have to protect you, and there's all these things going on, and there's Wi-Fi all over the place, and there's things in GMO foods, and there's all these things going on, and there's bright lights from all these screens and technology, all these different things that sometimes, not for all of us, but sometimes triple warmer finds these things to be threatening, and then we'll start working really, really hard unnecessarily. So we're training triple warmer to stay calm, and we're also training and helping triple warmer to learn how to live in its radiant circuit state. So the exercise that I absolutely love is activating triple warmer as a radiant circuit. And it's very simple. You take one hand, either hand, and you rest it just above your belly button. So my belly button is here, and then the lower part of my hand is sitting, so it's resting just here. And actually, if you can see here, I'm covering those adrenal points that we worked with. And my other hand is going to come resting on my forehead, gentle pressure. Here on my forehead, I'm on my main frontal neurovasculars. So remember, the neurovasculars are all about the brain, the blood, calming down the nervous system. So as you're holding here, you are covering your neurovasculars, very, very calming. You're also covering these adrenal points, which relate to triple warmer. That's very, very calming. And this is just the loveliest position. Of course, I'm biased because it does a lot for my energies, but see how you're feeling now. And more than that, see how you feel as you continue to hold this. We're not going to do it for a very, very long time right now, but I deeply sort of encourage you, like, it's my wish that every single person on the planet would know what it feels like to be really in this radiant circuit state of bliss, to really have your radiant circuits humming and activated and awake and alive. And in a lot of people, they're kind of sleepy and they're not very active. So the more that you can activate them, that's my wish for you, so that you can know what it feels like to feel peace and ease. Even at the moment, while understandably, there's so much going on in the world and it is very stressful. So that would be my suggestion for later on, is try this one for a bigger chunk of time. When I started to do it, I went through a period of my life where I was doing particular kinds of meditations, and I would lie back because that's what was comfortable for me, and I would support my elbows with pillows, so I was perfectly comfortable to stay in that position for sometimes up to 50 minutes or an hour. You might think that's a long period of time, but I never started out thinking, oh yes, I'm going to do an hour of this. What would happen is I would start out thinking, oh, I'm going to do a little meditation and I'll balance my energies at the same time. And I'd think, oh, well, I'm just going to spend 5 or 10 minutes. And then I would hold this position. I'd be lying back. And I would start to notice how my thoughts would calm down. It wasn't necessarily happening immediately. And sometimes it might take 15 or 20 minutes. And that's truly what I found. If there was a day, say I woke up and I was very, very anxious, like if I rated my anxiety out of 10, 10 being the highest, maybe I put myself at an 8 or a 9. It would take a bit of time, 10, 15 minutes or so, to start to notice, I'm feeling calmer. And then on other days where maybe my anxiety was lower, it was a 1 or a 2, some nice things had happened in the day and I was feeling good about things, maybe then it would take just a minute or two and I would start to notice, I'm feeling calmer, I'm feeling relaxed, I'm not worrying about that bill that I forgot to pay, I'm not worrying about the fact that my freezer just broke and I've got a whole chicken in there that's going to go bad and I'm going to have to waste this chicken. Whatever it might be, those thoughts that were running through my mind, and maybe if you have anxiety and similar challenges and you get thoughts that are running through your mind, this kind of exercise, working with triple warmer, working with your radiant circuits, can really help to bring more quiet and calm. You might notice as you're holding here that you start to feel a gentle pulsing underneath your hands. That's lovely if it happens, and if it doesn't happen, that's lovely too. When you feel the pulsing, that can show you the energy is moving. If you're not feeling pulsing, just keep holding. Just know you're doing a really, really good thing for your energies. It's a great act of self-love to balance your energies, because you're doing it for yourself. No one is forcing you to be doing this right now. Yes, I am here guiding you through the exercises, but you're the one listening, taking in the information, trying the exercises, breathing, noticing how it feels. So you've done this for yourself. So let's relax our arms down now. By the way, if you're sitting doing that and your arm starts to get tired, you can switch round, you can have a break, it's all fine. It's very much about making the energy exercises work for you, doing what feels right for you in your energies. And the more that you pay attention to that, the more you'll notice and you'll think, aha, this is what is really going to help me in this moment. And I know if I'm feeling flat, I'm feeling anxious, one of the things that's going to really help me is to work with triple warmer and hold this position, even if just for a few minutes, but the longer the better. And I will be able to reduce that stress and anxiety. There's no bigger gift, I think. It's just the most empowering thing to be able to bring balance in this way and help ourselves feel better. I'm going to share a quote with you, a quote from the fabulous Donna Eden herself that relates to what I'm saying. Donna says, when our energies are healthy and balanced, we feel stronger, happier, and better able to handle whatever is happening in our lives. I'm going to say it again. When our energies are healthy and balanced, we feel stronger, happier, and better able to handle whatever is happening in our lives. And oh my goodness, I bet you wherever Donna was in the world, whether she was up on a stage somewhere or chatting in a group, whenever she said those words, I'm sure she wasn't thinking ahead to the future, to 2020, when we'd all be here in this very, very demanding time. And we're all kind of staying at home, and for each of us it's different, but it's demanding, it's stressful. And the key to really take from that is the more that you keep your energies balanced, the more you're going to be able to handle whatever's happening today, next week, in 6 months. And truly, that's my wish for you, that you're empowered in this way so that you can create this calm, this peace, and this ease. Now, if you've enjoyed this, there's lots of information available to you. Donna has some fantastic books. There's all kinds of things on YouTube and on Facebook. And here's a link for a free class. It's freeclass.edenmethod.com. So there's no www. All you need to put in to your web browser is freeclass.edenmethod.com. So I really hope that that you've enjoyed this presentation and that the energy balancing has been truly wonderful for you. It's been a real honor for me to be able to share all of this with you. I'm so passionate about energy medicine, and it has changed my life, which sounds like a cliche, but I certainly would not be saying it if it wasn't true. And I wouldn't be sitting here now if not for the energy exercises and everything I've learned through the Eden method. So from all of us at the Eden method, we wish you many blessings of peace and of ease, and keep in touch with us, and we'll be continuing with these classes, and we wish you the very, very best in these times.